and sitting in 14th right now with 8 points. So they could definitely use a good Miramar performance. As you see, we are heading into match number 4. The plane is in the air. The players are dropping out. And here we go. We see a little lag.
Fairly vanilla plane, actually.
No, this is actually fantastic because it cuts it. Everybody basically will be able to get to their normal loot spot, and we don't have to worry about any wheels off circles, with the exception of maybe a prison circle. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't think it will. I don't know why I'm even saying it right now. I'm basically just jinxing it to absolute hell right now. So if it does go that way, blame me, obviously.
Well, I mean, at least we're technically avoiding an Impala circle with that plane path, right? That was
True.
the curse of the qualifier stages. So I'm at least happy to see that. We're more than likely going to be looking up towards, either a central or up towards Crater Fields or a western circle. But we will have to see where it posts. My eyes are on Chumacera, Poro.
Yeah.
The situation we thought we were going to see looks like it's going down. So that's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top again. Radiant's desperate for points, and again, Hardshift's not in a great spot either. So we'll have to see as that develops. Can't already see things popping off in the kill feed. Dodge dropping over to the usual loot spot. Pozo has been their home throughout much of the online qualifiers we have seen them playing in. So no surprises really up here. Circle actually posting over to the west side. So do we still call these MPL circles, Paro?
I think we can. I think that's fair. I mean, this is a pretty straight up MPL circle. Meanwhile, we see Hardships landing really close to Radiance. That's what you're talking about. Going over onto Chumacera. One has already been knocked. Looks like they got the res as J-Sank still low. No, Radiant's actually going for the res right now into low. So, like you said, I mean, this was the fight we were expecting to see, right? And to be honest, I'm kind of surprised to see it where it actually is on the top side, right? On this high side of Chumacera. That's not really where I would expect them to be fighting over.
I mean, the worst part of Chumacera to actually fight early game is probably up around those oil tankers we see up the top, but you are absolutely right. This is not where I'd expect to see it, and unless this is just an adjustment, I guess, to exact drop spots in the city. It's weird to see them both commit to arguably the worst part of the city to take the fight, but there was an early down in the form of loss on Radiance. It looks like Hardshift didn't want to commit to confirm that kill, and now you can see they've come back to a bit more of a default setup. Hardshifts have sent one player up onto the high ground with Radiance. I think he's just probably going to keep them in check, maybe just sit and try and hold them over to that side as the rest of them try and pick up some loot.
Yeah, basically leaving Lobes up on that top side as a babysitter while everybody else continues their looting process. You got Maluk, Chubba, J-Sang all on the low side. Meanwhile, Radiant's still kind of in this death ball. After getting that down, essentially they kind of have to play that way just to be safe on the safe side and just hope that Hardships aren't kind of gathering and wrapping around them. But I think they maybe have figured out the situation now. The only problem, this is kind of going to mess up their looting patterns, their looting situation now. That being said, they are in the dead center, essentially, of this first circle, just a little bit off to the east. And gonna have to keep eyes on, because since they are in this center part of the circle, now you got to start worrying about teams rotating in.
Yeah, I think you make a really interesting point again, and as actually we see Lost pushing over towards Lobes. I'm hoping he's not going to walk into this room unsuspecting. Again, this is the player I was talking about. They sent Lobes up to the high ground here to kind of play spoiler and keep them in check. It looks like Lost has actually heard something there. He's going to try and bait the audio with closing the door there. But whether or not he actually knows he's in this building, I think he's probably heard a step. That's why he's playing it the way he is. But you make an interesting point. When the circle posts here, there's no real urgency for this fight to conclude, right? Both teams can take it as slow as they want to. And that's what kind of actually makes it worse for the teams. The ideal scenario is you drop, you fight, it's done with, and the winning team can rotate, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think you're dead on here. Lowe's absolutely heard something, but it looks like the rest of the squad not really coming to provide them any support, but the rest of Hardships might be coming up there as we see Wildcard making their rotation in. They have found themselves a nice little compound here early on. A little high ground to work with just to the north, just barely north of Central Circle here. This again, I mean, we touched on Wildcard a little bit, saying how they've been a little bit disappointing in the first 3 games here as we see Hardships and Radiant's going to pop off. Los goes down to Maluk as it looks like Hardships finally made their way up on the top side here. Loeb's doing a good job of just holding the line there. Radiance, meanwhile, is going to lose Los essentially for free.
Yeah, Loeb's playing the rat role very well. I guess relaying the information to his teammates, and they just come up and clean Los up for free. Maybe a bit of a slower reaction, I guess, from Radiance. As soon as Los hears that audio cue, maybe it was time for Radiance to send one over to clear that building. I guess Houston Hardships was just being more proactive. And that they're just losing one member. It's not a catalyst for the team fight to start, but it's definitely the catalyst for Radiance to then move away.
Yeah, I mean, you would have figured maybe putting, at least like covering for Los to come and join them, right? Maybe not a full 4-man push onto Lobes' position, but at least just making sure that Lobes could rejoin them. I mean, I don't know.
I guess
I'm not sure what the 3-man was doing there.
There's also the possibility they just say, okay, loss is a lost cause. You know, it could be 2 people in that building. We don't want to risk somebody running in the open to come over. And again, without knowing the comms, we can only speculate from the outside.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I guess the speculation comes because of the fact that they were just they were still there, right? They were still hanging out on the fence line, and they hadn't just completely made this move that they're making right now. So you would assume that maybe they were trying to see what they could do. Anyway, either way, Los is gone. That sucks for Radiance. Not what you want to see here, and that's actually going to be something that we're going to have to keep an eye on next game as well. Now, as Hardships and Radiance most likely going to be still fighting over Chumacera, especially now that Hardships quote unquote won Chumacera there by taking Los.
Oh, you can't use that word. You can't use that word. We don't announce winners of the hot drop because we get proved wrong.
That's true. You think I'm afraid, Hypoc? I am not scared. I'll tell you right now, Hardships won.
The man with no fear.
No fear. You gotta have guts. If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. And right now, I'm taking the tough stance and saying that Hardships won Chumacera there. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Radiance and Hardships fighting over that once again here in game number 2. Because while it might have been a win, it wasn't a hard win, right? It wasn't like they wiped.
No, but it's not a clean wipe. Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's still something there to build off of. If you're Radiance, you still feel somewhat okay. Especially considering that they got the circle and they got everybody inside right now. As we check in on Elusive, making a nice little rotation around the south side right now. Elusive
on a little tempo rotation, would you say, Poro?
Yeah. I mean,
we can still call this a tempo rotation.
I mean, I feel like you can, right? I mean, we saw Tempo do it a million times coming from Impala and just wrapping around that south side. I mean, it's just, at this point, it's you know, you got to give it that name. You know, they did it for 3 splits on the MPL. All right, let's see where this next circle is going to take us. I'm very excited. I'm look, my only hope is that it's playable. The whole thing is playable and it's not cutting off a good percentage of it. Well, screw me. There you go. 25% of that probably unplayable. Yeah.
Now, see, this is where we look at it again. If we talk about, you know, historically the data we act off of where these circles go, Dodge's position arguably the best in the circle right now. Yeah. That little strip of high ground there. There's a couple of, you know, little trash compounds, I guess, with like the 2-story and the 1-story up on the top of that hill. Super strong coming into the late game, and nobody can push you. If you play it proactively, not everybody sits inside the buildings. Nobody can actually push you up there. Dodge looking in a really, really good spot with that Circle 2 posting. But again, SDK, this is the spot. I guess moving it, as I say that, 303 are going to send some shots their way, but this is a really good position to fight up onto that hill. But 303, as you can see on the minimap, we're actually set up to prevent this right now.
Yeah, 303, you know, pretty much have All of STK deads to right. Yeah, nice little split here. And STK in a little bit of trouble, honestly. As long as 303 is patient with this and don't overpeak, don't get knocked here, they should be able to send as much damage over on STK as they'd like for basically free. As you can see, Lush sending the shots over there towards Alo. No return fire out from STK just yet, but you can see Luke 12 very, very low. And he's going to go down.
Voxic is going to get Luke down. And actually, I was going to say that Luke and Alo play a pivotal role in this by denying this high ground here. And actually, Lush being really proactive with D-Rich over on this side. They're actually denying the only angle that can really punish them. And that keeps Kurt and Uncivil stuck down at the compound. You can actually see on the minimap now, Voxic landed another headshot. And Lush is probably going to act on this damage. I don't think Alo has any idea.
Yeah, that's big moves coming out from Lush. If he can find a way over there. But it looks like Alo's going to work the cliffside here, break LOS, and remain safe for the time being. But as you said, I mean, the rest of 383, they've got a complete wrap here on Civ and Purdy. There's not really a whole lot that they can do unless 303 gets greedy here and maybe overpeaks, or unless they get pushed by a third party, which is always still a possibility in this part of the circle. As you said, this is a really strong position. Now here you go, Sonics is going to make their way up the hill just behind him. So now this is 303 essentially pinched here. They're going to have to take their attention away from SDK and turn it over towards Sonics.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations where, you know, when you come back to review this game, whether or not they could have done anything to kind of make a decisive move either way, because now they're boxed in. Sonics, again, they can just sit here. They can hold them. 303 are out in the open terrain, right? If anybody wants to make a move here, 303 are dead.
And now Lush is essentially out on an island. I mean, you can see on the minimap, he's off in Narnia right now. He was sent off to chase down Alo. But while that's all going down now, the rest of his squad getting pushed by the four-man of Sonics. Doesn't look like the fight has opened up just yet. Meanwhile, you can see some downs coming in here as teams are transitioning through. Team Clueless going to pick up one, or at least get a knock. But 303 now, I mean, they can't be proactive the way they were. They're now put in the position like Landoon is, where they've just got to basically hide and hope that Sonics doesn't full four-man crash onto them.
Yeah, and this is good. This is the type of rotation I want to see from Sonics after having a rough start to the day, getting themselves to a strong center circle position. Obviously, Circle has pulled slightly to the west. We do still have a little bit of unplayable to account for way over on the west side, but we have a pretty good idea now where the mid game is going to be taking place, and Sonic's already looking to make moves here, which could actually give 303 an out.
Yeah, that's actually super fortunate, and I guess a good display of patience really being shown by 303 to not take these shots, not engage on the fight with Sonics. You can see Landoon actually creeping up there a little bit, maybe putting himself in an anchor position to maybe turn things around onto this as he creeps forward. You can see he's definitely...
I like this. I like this move.
This is real good. Ooh. There you go. Lamsey got to find Shrimsy. He's going to get the down, throw the grenade out for the flush, and maybe actually might get two here. Lush is going to find Shrimsy as well. And here we go. Boxic has been taken up from behind by Purdy Curdy as STK using this as their opportunity to get themselves out of their former position. The rest of Sonics looks like they'll get out of this with only losing one.
Oh, no.
Meanwhile, 303... they're in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, it's just a textbook domino effect there. One team engages the fight, and then SDK come from behind, pick up Voxic. I love that. Again, I love the move from SDK, actually hearing the shots are coming up and getting aggressive on it, but Sonic's definitely suffering there. But they've got up to the compound. I was talking about Dodge occupying, and that's actually interesting that Sonic's managed to get themselves in there for free.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Dodge in a really good position that, you know, as long as you're playing it aggro, as long as you're sending shots, and apparently they just did not have a line of sight onto Sonics as they made their push into that compound, so they're going to be okay for the time being. But like you said, even in this circle, with that entire western part kind of essentially cut off, you know it's going to cut off to the east here, so Dodge in really good hands, really good position for the time being. They do have Wildcard just below them off to the east. Sonics, again, just off to the north. We'll just have to see how long Sonics can just play this a little bit quiet, as it looks like Lush is going to find 8-low as the STK 303 fight just continues. Oh, he's going to get flushed as well.
Yeah, and Alo was the guy up on the high ground, so he was the one that's going to be able to feed, I guess, the best information to the rest of SDK. So unfortunate to see him fall there. And again, now SDK, without taking a quick look over there, I'm not sure what move they can really make, because the edge of the circle was pretty close to where they were playing, and I guess Lush kind of just stayed outside the circle to hold him.
Yeah. It looks like Purdy might actually be in a stuck position here. He might have to eat some blue, because I think between Lush and D-Rich, they had him pinned down. Civ, meanwhile, it looks like he might have managed to get inside the circle. We'll check on Fabled here, as they are on the western part of the circle. They've got a nice some terrain features to work around. You just got to eventually hope that the circle cuts over to your side of the road, because crossing that road, I mean, that's going to be dangerous stuff here late game.
Yeah, it is. Crossing west to east on this is always rough, but yeah, again, you have to be in a position where you can kind of secure a position in. You can't fight from the compound as the circle posts. You have to send somebody in across the road and get a little foothold. And actually, as we did see, as we were watching Fabled there, Venerated holding one of the positions that you'd want to be playing if you want to split across that road.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Exodus, it is only Venerated, and it looks like Fabled is fully aware of his presence there. As we see Sonic's going to leave their position, they're going to get in top of this compound, and once again, Dodge still holding up on the cliffside there. Sonics, though, they have to be careful, because you got a number of teams off to the north that are going to be sending it into this direction. You can see already STK, Civ, trying to make his way over there. The shots are coming out. Will they land it down? Looks like Civ should break it for the time being. Meanwhile, Comets also hear the shots. They're going to go ahead and avoid it. Ooh, Mime actually going to find Civ there. So that's bad news bears for STK here, as they're just getting picked apart piece by piece in the mid-game. As we check in on Houston hard shifts, now is the time we get to see if Dodge is really about that life. They've been holding the top here. They've been playing it aggro, but look at all these teams just off to their west that are going to have to come in their direction here shortly.
Yeah, Dodge's setup is actually really good to deal with this hard shift push, but looking like the noise that Wildcard are making is going to draw some attention from them. Lobes is still aware of the top of the hill being able to peek down on him for free, but hard shifts need to be worried here, because Dodge pretty much have the best setup for this. And as I say that, Reno's going to get picked off. He was shooting off to the north towards 303, and Dodge will lose one for free. Crop, you can see just in the distance there, he's actually pretty close. And now Lobes is looking for whoever Reno was shooting at. He's got some idea now from Maluk, feeding him info back over to him that 303 are close by, and they should be able to pick up these kills for her.
That was super unfortunate for Dodge. There we go. Lush going to turn it open up onto J-Sank here, as Lobes got taken down to about 24 HP. He's not going to be able to be involved in this conversation until he gets that heal off. Crop, meanwhile, still looking out, seeing if he can find anything. They hear the shots. They can't find a way to third party onto it just yet, though, as they are going to continue just holding that strong position, waiting to see if anything pops up in their line of sight. Meanwhile, hard shifts, you can see they've got the smoke wall down. The heels have come off, but 303 still finding good position. They're going to get another down there onto Chubb. Actually, that's going to be Monty. So Dodge finally finding that line of sight. What is happening to hard shifts here, though? It seems like they're kind of falling apart on this push.
Yeah, and again, this push was fine as long as the team wasn't holding on to this northeast side of the circle. Unfortunately, 303 they were moving slow enough where, hard shifts didn't spot them out, and then as they tried to engage onto Dodge, they came down just at the right time. But now Lush and D-Rich, you can see pulling down to the shack. They're going to have a really good uphill angle here if hard shifts aren't careful.
Yeah, but look at that. You can see it, 303. They're trying to wrap low. They're trying to avoid this fight, but they're going to be pushing right into Wild Card, as Lush will take a few shots, but he's going to get taken down to about 13 HP. Sharp Shot's going to find D-Rich. Keenan will find Lush, and that is going to do it for 303, as Wild Card coming alive here, playing the low side of the eastern part of this circle, and now they can start turning their attention up to the north and maybe come in here and feast off of hard shifts a little bit.
Yeah, great wrap from Wildcard. Again, now they have the information that wasn't the first team that was up here fighting. So they know another team is nearby and they've taken casualties. You can see now Keenan and Penta looking to get aggressive over towards the hard shifts as well. You can see Maluk is down. I'm not sure whether or not they'll be able to recover from that. As Chubba, I think, is actually back on his feet.
Oh, yeah, this fight is turning really, really violent up in the north side of this circle as Sonics is getting involved, STK is getting involved, Hardship's getting involved. There goes Illusion on your screen, you can see. And
there
now
we go.
Wildcard has come up over the top. They're going to spot Hardships as... Oh, no. There you go. Keenan going to find another one for himself. Wildcard now up to 6 kills. They're 4 strong. They're feeling good about things here as Dodge
And
actually going
Dodge.
to find an angle here. Ooh. Get those smokes out, boys. Get them
Yeah,
out.
lucky there.
And,
Keenan was really low HP there, so if a second tag did come, then he would have fallen. But good utility.
I don't know
usage
how
gonna
he
keep
broke
him
a
up
line
there.
of sight there.
Yeah, I did. That's literally just the tip of that ridge, just the tip, Poro.
Just the tip. You know, it's always just the tip that throws you off here as wild card. We'll stay alive, and they'll get healed back up. Dodge, meanwhile, like you said, man, they were holding it good. They had a nice little spread going. They were playing it aggro, but now that they lost one, it seems like they've retreated back into their turtle shell of
What
this
is
compound.
Kickstarter doing now here?
Good question,
I
man.
saw him getting kills on Fabled. He was cleaning up Fabled. He's the last one up. That makes a bit more sense now. But
Okay.
I did see him picking up 2 kills onto Fabled, and then we jump back over here. And nobody's with him, and he's running back towards the west side of the circle. But got himself a Bronco now. He's going to probably just try and send it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Send
We
it
did
right
get out
into
of
the
the car
immovable
park.
object.
We
Okay.
got we
There we go.
got out of the car park. It's fine. But now
Alright.
that the road has opened up a little bit, I mean, as long as he doesn't drive straight towards Exodus, he should be able to find himself a little spot. Oh, he's going to lose a tire.
That was the best unintentional juke I think I've ever seen in my life. As Kickstart will avoid the fire there from Exo, and he finds himself a nice little spot here. And to be fair, this is actually good for him because Exodus can't really afford to go in and leave this compound. They're under fire from Elusivo on the other side of the street for the time being, so Kickstarter might actually be safe for for a little while. Meanwhile, Sonics, they're still 3 up. They're hunting. I think they know that there's an STK snake hiding around here somewhere. They just haven't figured out where. Oh, maybe they have. Okay, here come here come the throwables. Here goes. They're just gonna give shoot to kill a little bit of their own medicine as the flashbangs come in, the grenades come in. Civ gonna survive at least for the time being. Actually, maybe Sonics don't know somebody in there. Might have been just maybe some poke in there to see what they can find.
Yeah, and again, Uncivil now with that next circle post, and obviously we know he's going to have a bit of ground to cover to get in. Sonics have actually managed to keep... I know they lost Shrimsy to 303 early on that unfortunate timing on the rotators. They got into the vehicles, but as I say that, Profi are going to go down. Evasion all the way over on the west side in that compound, other side of the road. Going to get a knock at distance, and that's going to put Sonics down to 2. It's just H-Win and Mime left, and heartbreak again for Sonics.
I mean, look, at this point, you know, the knock is fine, but getting the knock in the flush, that I don't think that should have happened. That's just unfortunate positioning there by Profi. So, looks like Pistola Time will try to send it in here for Team Clueless. What's he got? Does he have the same kind of luck as Kickstart did? I don't know, because he's crashing right into... Oh, okay, that's the rest of his team. All right, he's fine. He's good.
Well, it looked like he was going to try and send it towards the circle, but then he got out across the road and he was like, nope, not going this way.
He just noped out of that about as fast as he possibly could here. Sharp Shot will get spotted out. Oh, Nitrogen! No, not now.
Nitrogen got knocked out of the vehicle, and then Patrick ran him over as he tried to pull up.
Oh, no. Oh, Clueless, what is going on here? The whole thing is falling apart. As they're trying to leave their compound mere seconds ago, they were 4 up, and now they've got 1 player remaining, and they're just outside of placement points here. That is the biggest feels bad man I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it is. You can see him in the kill feed again, and then chest going to fall as well. As we have Finna in a 1v4 situation against Wildcard here. I'm not sure whether or not the information is there for Wildcard if it's just 1 player in here, but they're taking this slow and methodical. Sharpshot going to throw a shoulder. He's actually going to go down to Finna. Now he's going to try and retreat back upstairs to get his first aid kit, but the pressure's going to come in from Monty as well. There's 2 up still for Dodge. Monty not in the same building, so I'm not sure how much he can actually do here, but Finna's going to be able to vault out potentially on Monty's side and maybe throw a little bit of bait down.
Yeah, this has danger written all over it here for Wildcard. You see,
here we go, mate.
2v4s happen all the time in these compounds. Look at this, Finna trying to find the angle. Oh, he's got to, doesn't he? I mean, you see the Molotovs. Oh, no, he's on fire. No. Pull back.
No, he's
Get
good.
your water bucket out. Okay, no.
Jump in the
bath.
bath.
He's fine.
Jump in the bath.
Jump in the bathtub. It'll be fine. That's how it works in real life. Meanwhile, Wildcard, I mean, I don't think they have any idea, A, that Monty is over there, B, where Finna is. Actually, Monty getting flashed there by somebody. I'm not sure how that happened.
Well, I think Monty came in
strong.
low down there. Here we go, the 3-man push, actually.
push.
Wildcard pushing everyone up the stairs here. There's still a smoke active upstairs. Finna now going to get challenged in the bathroom. Oh my god! Ooh. He pulled out a nade just at the time he was going to get peeked.
Oh.
That's unfortunate timing there, but Wildcard cleaning up Finna here. They're going to look for Monty as well, and actually Keenan going to land the shots. Headshot in Monty, putting him down. That's Dodge going out in 8th place.
The vision. Godlike vision from Keenan there, saving Wildcard from any additional travesties happening on the top side of the circle. They're going to keep 3 up. They've got 9 kills already. They've had a bad Erangel day today so far, but they're coming through in spades here on Miramar as they're going to find 10 as they're going to pick off Kickstart, the solo. Meanwhile, got to keep an eye on Oath. They've still got 4 up as well. They are just
They've been
south
quiet.
of
They've been
Wildcard.
quiet.
They have been. They have been. Well, I mean, 6 kills. They haven't been that quiet, but we haven't really been seeing them. I think they've just been picking people off, maybe.
I mean, it's been, I guess, slow and progressive in terms of kills for them through the mid game, but we definitely haven't seen them towards the center. So maybe just, I guess, gatekeeping the south side of the circle on this high ground. They've been able to pick off a few kills for free as we see Snakers and Bale actually coming down the hill here, sending it towards Exodus's compound, but probably just going to settle for the dip here. This is actually a really good spot.
Yeah, wow. They got a 2-2 going as well. They get a nice little spot there on the low ground while still able to keep 2 up high with Relo and Wolf to keep all that information going over. This is great stuff coming out of Oath, and they've had a decent day so far. They got a little bit of bad luck there on Erangel a couple of times, but they're looking real nice here on Miramar. 4 strong in great position as we check in on Wildcard once again, trying to come in from this north side. It looks like they've got vision up on the high part of Oath, maybe keeping Relo and Wolf a little bit honest, not letting them over peak. But the smokes are coming down already as they are trying to figure out how to get a little bit closer to the center here.
And this is going to be difficult, really, for anyone. And actually, the reason Oath split is so strong, I was going to say, anybody in the center of the circle right now can't really do anything. They're just relying on the teams on the edge to kind of fight it out and gain displacement, right? Oath keeping 2 on the high ground. They're going to be able to put pressure into the circle, as well as having 2 members in the center of the circle.
Yeah, that's the great part, is that your high ground guys can feed out that information over to the low ground guys, tell them when the good time to peak is. As we see Exodus still trying to leave their compound. That compound that they're in, as a reminder, not inside circle. So they've got to push, and they've got to take either... man, I don't know where they're going to go because they've got Sonics, the last 2 for Sonics right in front of them, and they've got Oath right in front of them as well. So this is going to be rough sledding here all the way around for Exodus as Relo is going to find Keenan. But maybe... Ooh, no! Down as well. Wildcard, we knew this was going to be a rough push for him, as Oath is sending the shots over there. Comet's the last player up for D-Treats. He's going to be trading back and forth with Honey Badger. You got to win this 1v1, Honey Badger, if your team's going to make it any further into this game. The smoke's down. D-Treat's going to come up over the top. Oh. Oh! D-Treats.
Really well-timed peaks there.
Good game for Wildcard.
Really well-timed peaks to shut Wildcard down. Unfortunately, that Honey Badger only having a 2x, but H-Win, wow, I'm going to turn around and get a knock on to Relo. He's going to fall. Mime going to fuss that one out. So Oath down to 3 members now. Going to take a couple of attacks from Taylor J on Exodus as well up on the high ground, and that's going to be the go signal. Taylor J's going to send it on the bike up towards Oath. Oh. What is he doing?
He sent it. He just absolutely sent it. I mean, somehow Relo going down took away the information here or something for Snake as a Balefrost. They're trying to hold this low ground. Somehow Taylor manages to get up. Oh my god, Vegas! Are you serious right now? Snakers will get him and get the flush, but Taylor J is going to throw the flashbang. Perfect flashbang. Tries to come up over the top. Snaker's going to pull away from it for the time being. The Molotov's going to go down. Good area denial here by Taylor J. Balefrost slowly bleeding out here. Snakers has to deal with this problem, though, before he can even think about going for this res. As Snakers still working the side. Sonics, meanwhile, still just hiding out. We're down to 3 teams, down to 6 alive. Taylor maybe missing the opportunity here. As he spots the head. No, good shooting. Good shooting there from Bale, or Snakers rather. And he's going to be able to go and get this res. Sonics maybe missing their opportunity there.
Yeah, I think so. And actually, again, they are down to 2 people, but they should be looking at the player count right now and reading this situation. I don't know if they feel as if there's a bit of terrain they can play towards the star, but that right there was the opportunity to make an impact on the game if they wanted to make sure they had a chance of winning.
Well, they're going to take the opportunity now to start moving away from their ditch that they've been hiding in for quite some time. Honestly, the fact that Sonics has gotten this far with 2 up is admirable because they were in a rough position early on, as we see now. Snakers going to take a few shots. Nothing coming out just yet. The smokes eventually are going to go away, though, as Oath trying to wrap around here. Oh, H-Wing going to get the opening down on the Snakers, though. Can Sonics pull off the unbelievable here? They're going to find Balefrost. Get him real low. Mime's going to go down. No. Ooh. Did Sonics just win this? Wolf. No, Wolf. Okay. Ooh, that was close. We were switching back and forth a little bit there, and I got a little confused. I'm not going to lie. But Oath coming in with a big 11-kill win.